So today we'll do the setup of the system. So you all can mute yourself. And I ask you all to unmute, then you all can speak. See, we can write Java code using Notepad also. So see, I open Notepad over here. So in Java, everything is within classes. So whatever you will write within a class. Even if you are writing main will also be within a class, and the class name will be in Pascal case. The class name will be in a Pascal case. As of now, just pay attention what I'm trying to do. I'll explain everything in detail later on. So now this is a simple Java program which is just printing hello world on the screen. Okay. So this a simple. So this code can be written in a notepad file also, and the way of saving this, I'm showing this because in your graduation they will ask you to program in a notepad. Reasons known to the faculty. I'm still not able to come to terms as to why they are still sticking with notepad in colleges wherein the professionals do not use this to program. So just for the sake of the graduation students, I'm just showing you all example over here. So when you all will be programming in Java in college, you all will be doing it in notepad. You all can talk to your faculty and insist that if you all can use a IDE. IDE means integrated development environment. That is called as IDE. And there are two very famous IDEs in the market. One is Eclipse, the two is IntelliJ IDEA. These two are very famous IDEs, okay? The professionals use this a lot. Professionals use this, and both are equally good. We'll try to install both and try to run our code on both the IDs also. So once you're comfortable with the IDE, you'll see the difference in the programming, the speed of programming, and the productivity of the developer will increase when we try to run the same code using an IDE. Okay, but just for the demo purpose, for the sake of writing a simple code, I have used this. So now I need to save this file, and the simple mantra to save a file in Java is the class which contains the main method. So which is the class which is having the main method over here? Anyone? Am I audible to you all? Class test, right? So that class becomes public. The class which contains the main method becomes public, and program is saved by the name of the public class. So you can copy the name of the class as it is, and class will be in Pascal case. What do I mean by Pascal case? Anyone? See, yeah, correct. So if my class name would have been Mahendra Singh Dhoni, how would I name this class? Yes. So you will. This is called as Pascal case. So M will be capital, S will be capital, and D will be capital. So remember, whenever you will create a class, always use Pascal case. Whenever, so Pascal case will be used for class name, class or interface name. So these are proper naming conventions which you all need to follow. So from the day one, make a habit of following the proper naming convention. Then you have camel case. So what is camel case? So for variables and for functions, use camel case. So if I have Mahendra Singh Dhoni, how will I convert it into camel case? The first M will be capital, first M will be small, and the subsequent words, first letter will be capital. So the camel case of Mahendra Singh Dhoni would be like this. So whenever you have a variable or a function name, always write it in your camel case. Then we have one more naming convention, kebab case. Have you heard of kebab case? Now what this kebab case does is, so this will be used much in HTML or your CSS or JavaScript. When we will do front end, we'll be using a lot of kebab case. So what this does is, so if you have Mahendra Singh Dhoni and you want to convert into kebab case, first we'll make all small and separate each word with a hyphen. No capital, nothing. All are small with each word separated by a hyphen. Okay, so please try to follow these proper naming conventions. So whenever you write a class, you'll always try to write it in a Pascal case. In each letter, each initial letter is in capital. So now you can save this code anywhere on your hard disk, wherever you wish to. So let's say if I go and make a new folder for our batch ET001, and let's say backend. Okay, so I'll just save it over here. So Java session, day one, I'll save it over here and give the extension .java. Okay, so this is equivalent to printf or cout. Those who have studied C, C++, this statement is an equivalent of printf or cout. Those who have done PHP, this is echo. Those who have done Python, we have print. So in Java, we have system.out.println. Now, this code I'm writing using Notepad. So now let me show you all what advantage Java brings to the table. Is the paint invisible? Yes, so maybe visible, right? So you need to understand the core technology and have a deep understanding as to what is happening behind the scenes. So Java is a high level language. Okay, try to understand. HLL means it's a high level language which I use to make large. By large I mean scalable. By scalable you can visualize a balloon. So as you fill or pump air into a balloon, okay, the size of the balloon will scale. That is called as scalable. So your large enterprise applications, okay, and it is used to make enterprise applications. So large corporates are using Java to make large scalable enterprise, okay, and you can say robust. Java code doesn't crash. The code should not crash. Should be very strong. By robust I mean strong. Okay, platform independent. One of the most important features of Java, which has made Java trending. Platform independent. So irrespective if you are using a Mac OS or Linux or Windows OS, the code should still be easily executed. So how Java achieves its platform independence? What is a platform? So if there's a developer who is using Mac OS, okay, there's one developer who is using a Linux system. Has someone requested to join? See, I would want you all to start joining at 6:55. It becomes I need to switch, flip from one screen to another screen. So it becomes a bit tedious for me to accommodate students later on. So I would request everyone to start joining at 6:55 if you all really want to benefit from this course, because there will be certain things which will be theoretical in nature. If you miss those concepts, then later on it becomes a bit difficult. And there is a third developer who's on a Windows machine. So these are three separate operating systems. Okay, with separate CPUs. There might be a fourth person who is also on a Windows machine but on a 32-bit window. So if you see your earlier Windows, they were 32-bit. Windows 7 has a 32-bit edition also. So this is Windows OS 64-bit, like your Windows 10, Windows 11. Okay, and this chap is also on a Windows machine but on a 64-bit Windows machine. So these are separate platforms. So in a so when I say platform, you can, in a nutshell, in a one liner, you can say that it is a combination of your operating system and your CPU. So 64-bit CPU and 32-bit. Okay, so older machines would support a 32-bit operating system. Newer machines are supporting a 64-bit operating system. So a combination of your operating system along with your CPU is called as platform. So when I say platform, this is what I mean. So when I say platform independent, means the same Java code, irrespective if the machine changes. So if the developer is sitting in the US, they use Mac OS a lot in the US. So the developer has developed the Java code using a Mac OS. The testing also has happened on Mac OS, and he has run the code also to check that it is working fine. So everything has happened on the Mac OS. Now he has a customer. The customer not necessary should have the same platform as the developer. The customer can have a different platform also, and the code will run perfectly fine. The code will execute perfectly. This is what we mean by platform independent. So if the customer is on a Linux machine, also the code will run perfectly. If the customer is on a Windows machine with 64-bit CPU, the code will still run perfectly. If the customer is on a 32-bit Windows machine, the code will still run perfectly. That is what I mean by platform independent. Earlier, what some technologies, like for a very long time, your .NET technology. Microsoft celebrated their 50th anniversary few weeks ago. So .NET is a Microsoft technology. Okay, so it's a Microsoft framework, you can say. For majority of its life till now, so if 50 years Microsoft has been building softwares, let's say .NET is in the market for, let's say, for the past 20 years, assuming I'm just having a hypothetical figure, I'm giving you all 20 years. For the past 18 years, you can say .NET was platform dependent. Currently now they have launched .NET Core, which is platform independent. So when they felt that making a platform dependent software will not make them survive in the market, when they realized that making a platform dependent software, they'll not survive in the market. So .NET, let's say till until 2020 was platform dependent. Now what do I mean by platform dependent? To run a .NET code, C Sharp .NET, your ASP.NET, VB.NET, to run these codes till your 2020, it was compulsory that you had to have a Windows machine. If your server is not configured on Windows, if you don't have a Windows server, you could not run .NET code. So if someone who's having a different platform on his or her laptop, Linux guys, if they had to run .NET code had to install either they'll have to install Windows or they'll have to do virtualization. Virtualization means, guys, one second. Virtualization means on your parent machine, if you have Linux, okay, if you have Ubuntu, okay, so Ubuntu is Linux based OS, then you had to install a virtual machine inside. That is a machine within a machine, but it's a virtual machine. That is called as a virtual machine. So it's you can have any number of virtual machines. So this is I'll just color code it. So this blue is my physical laptop, tangible physical laptop. Okay. So the OS which this laptop has, that is the parent OS, that is called as a parent OS, is Linux. Now on this machine, I want to run a .NET code. Let's say we are in 2015. So on this machine, if I have to run a .NET code, a VB.NET code, then it was not possible to run a Microsoft code on a Linux machine because Microsoft till 2020 was platform dependent. Now they have launched .NET Core, which is platform independent. So what would happen is then I had to install a Windows virtual machine inside my Ubuntu, and this virtual machine would then execute my .NET code. The parent machine it was not possible to execute. So this I had to install, but this is not the case with Java. Java from its inception, Java has was invented in 1991, okay, by a person called James Gosling. This is just a little bit history. So we are least concerned about the history. But the striking feature which made Java very popular since its inception was this feature of its platform independence. That a code could be written on any machine, any platform, and executed on a different platform. Java would not insist that everybody have a Mac OS, or everybody have a Linux OS, or everybody have a Windows OS. As per your geographical region, okay, in that part of the world, whichever OS or whichever platform is being used, you can continue using the same platform and Java code will execute perfectly. So how did Java achieve this platform independency is that when we install Java, okay, so I'll show you how to install Java. So I would want some volunteer because I already have Java installed on my machine. So it would not make sense to uninstall and then again reinstall. So I want some volunteer who's having a good decent internet connection to share his or her screen, and I'll set up the Java environment on that laptop. So anybody who's volunteering, who's not having Java installed can volunteer. Those who already have installed Java, I would not want you all to uninstall and then reinstall. So anybody, any volunteer? Yes, Sufyan, are you trying to say something? Perfect, excellent. Then please. Graduate students, I guess you can pick anyone from them because those who've done engineering and those who are working, I'm sure that those guys have Java installed. So let's pick up one person. Muhammad Ali, can you share your screen, please? So we'll try to install Java on your machine. I am expecting everybody to join from their laptops, right? From day one, I'm insisting on that with your cameras on. The reason I'm not insisting on the camera on is because it takes some bandwidth. So if you all have a limited quota of your daily GB, so by putting the camera on, it will the meeting will consume some more memory. That's why I'm a bit lenient on you all switching the cameras on. But those who are joining from a Wi-Fi connection would request them to please switch on their cameras. That makes that gives me a signal that you all are sitting and attending the session. Yes, Muhammad Ali. So now, can you open a web browser, preferably Chrome, hmm. and now type github.com and give my handle after that uy solanki slash uy uniform Yankee Umar Yakub. Yeah, hit enter. Others can also follow suit. Go to repositories and in the search, find a repository written over there. Find a repository. Search. Type JDK, Java Development Kit. Yeah. Go to JDK 8. We'll start with JDK 8 initially. Yes. And click on that text file. JDK. Yeah. Take the first link. Copy that link. Line number one. Line number one. Yeah. Copy that link. Paste it in a new tab and hit enter. Say download. Download anyway. Yeah. Then hang on. This should download. Done. It's downloading. You can stop sharing. Umar, can you share screen, please? And let's see. Anas, yeah, please share screen. What happened? Reason? Anas, either you have an excuse or you have a career. You choose either of them. Yes, Anas. I guess he's joining from a different laptop. Anas over here. Either you give me an excuse or you expect a career from my end. You cannot have both, Anas. Yes, Umer, please open a browser. Umer, yeah, yeah, I can see your screen. Please open a web browser. Yeah, open Chrome. Ali, are you done with the downloading? Yeah, then please share screen. Umar, stop sharing. I was utilizing this 2 minutes of download time to set up the software on the other machine. You can stop sharing, Umar. Yes, Ali, please share screen. Yeah. So go and click over there. See, now this is directly I have given you all the software, right? Ali, just stop sharing 1 second. If you all had to download this from the original Oracle website. Okay, Oracle is the company which owns the rights to Java. All the copyrights of Java is owned by Oracle. So if I would say JDK download, okay, so it would take me to a website, Oracle Java download, and see over here. Whenever I would want to download, it would ask me for which machine you want, which platform you're downloading this. So for Linux, for Mac, for Windows. So here Java is platform independent. Okay, Java is platform independent, but JDK, which we are installing on our computer, JDK is platform dependent. JDK is platform dependent. For every platform, we will have a separate JDK, means the software to install Java. The software to install Java. So the JDK for a Windows machine is different as shown over here. So if you want to install latest Java, the latest release of Java is 24. Okay, this is just for your general knowledge. The latest release of Java, that and this has nothing to do with the year. Okay, so 2024 is JDK 24 release, nothing to do with the year. Okay, in the last 2 years they've released 3 versions. So the latest version of Java currently going is JDK 24, and the version which we have downloaded now 1.8 is Java 8. Okay, so when we say JDK 1.8, that is as good as saying Java 8. Okay, so this is good for beginners. Later on, as we go deeper in advanced Java or Spring Boot, we'll try to explore the other versions of Java also. The current version, the latest release of Java is Java 24. These are just general knowledge questions some interviewer might ask you all, which is the latest release of Java in the market. So you can say confidently that Java 24 is the latest release. Which version of Java have you been working on? So you can say during my academic, I've been working on Java 8, and my professional training, I have been working on Java 17, Java 21, okay, and then I have also explored a little bit of Java 24. So these JDK version 24, I've introduced all your AI and open AI and prompt engineering. So a lot of AI stuff has been introduced in the latest Java version, which they have launched now. Okay, so Java is there in the market to stay. Java is there in the market to stay. As I said, it was introduced in the year 1991. So it's been around how many years? 30 plus years. Java has been there in the market. So it has spread its roots deep inside the market. Okay. If you don't trust me, let me open up Chat GPT and let's ask Chat GPT as to how what Chat GPT has to say about it. Okay, so let's I'll open up a fresh tab. Okay, and I have over here Chat GPT on. Okay, so I'll say let's check over here which is the most trending language in 2025. Okay, let's give simple prompts. Okay, most trending programming language. We'll say French is the most trending language. Which is the most trending programming language in 2025? Let's check what happened. Right, give a restart. Which is the most trending programming language in 2025 for building large enterprise applications? Support your answer with a graph. Let's check if it can answer this. So it's searching for the web and it's coming up with the data. Let's see over here. So top programming languages, this is what it is telling over here. Okay. Let's check the other. This is 2022. Didn't we not say 2025? We said that, right? Over here, Python, then Java, then JavaScript, then C++, TypeScript, PHP, Perl, Ruby. So it is in the top two. So you can change the prompt and you can do it for yourself also and see what response ChatGPT returns. So Java is there in the market to stay. Lots and lots and lots of companies have invested in Java for the past 34 years, and it is competing. Okay, when Python started to overtake Java, there was a very big argument that Python code is short. So if Java we write a if condition, it takes us 3-4 lines. Python does the same in one line. So Python code is pretty short. So Java, when it launched its next release, so after every 6 months, Java is launching a new release. Java 17. Java also launched a feature in which we could write the if condition in one line. So whenever other programming languages were competing with Java to keep up pace, Java would launch its new version and it would improve on its functionality. So clients have no reason to leave Java. So if a client who's invested in Java for the past 34 years, its software is built in Java, all overnight it will not switch to any other programming languages because it has no reason to do so. Because whatever the other programming language is offering, Java is adding that in its new releases, whatever. So if let's say Python is good for AI, now as I said, Java has launched its which release latest, which is the latest release of Java 24. So all the AI related stuff it has added in this Java release 24. So if you want to dive deep, as I said, no, you have to invest 18 hours a day. So what you have to do that 18 hours, you have to research. Now, what are the new features which Java 24 has launched? So the reason I'm saying this is there will always be a requirement for Java developers in the market, freshers or experienced. because it has spread its roots in the market for the past 30 years. So there will always be a requirement for Java developers. Okay, let's try to prompt this. Which language developers are required most in the year 2025? Which programming language developers are required most in the year 2025? Let's check where it says. Where does it rate Java? Let's check that. Python will come up, other languages will come up. Let's check where it rates Python. Okay, Python it is, as it is the era of AI and ML, so naturally Python will come on the top. JavaScript, this also we have in our curriculum. Number two, very, very, very trending. Rust, Golang, Java, oh yes, which is in the top five. So we'll be studying these two languages in our resume, JavaScript and Java. Okay. Continued demand in large organization. Continued. As I said, no, for the past 30 years, remains a staple for enterprise level application. You want to know what staple? How many days do we eat pizza at home? Once a week, once a month, once in 6 months? Yes, no, maybe. But how many days do we eat rice and what do you say, chapati? Once in 6 months, once in a month, once in a week, or daily, or such 3 times a day. That is called as staple diet. That is called as what? That is called as staple diet. So it is a staple requirement. Means there is a back-to-back requirement for Java developers, because for the past 30 years, lots and lots and lots of large organizations have invested in making their softwares using Java. So they need to be maintained also. So you have to at times write a code. So there's development phase. At times the code is already deployed. Just maintenance work needs to be carried on if there's no new development. Okay. So you all can, don't have any doubts in your mind that I'm investing 6 to 8 months of my life learning a technology. What happens if after a few months that technology is obsolete? There were Nokia phones were ruling the market in the early 2000s. But now, what is the condition of Nokia phones right now? They have become obsolete in the market. Nobody uses them. So don't have any doubt like that. That I'm investing in Java. I'm investing in JavaScript. What if after the course completion there is no demand for Java developers? That will not happen, because there is a staple demand for Java developers in the market. Okay. Let's check. Is Java still trending in 2025, or is or has it become obsolete? Obsolete means out of the model. How dinosaurs have become obsolete? Do you see dinosaurs anymore? Java is definitely still trending in 2025. It has not become obsolete, and here's why. Backbone, it forms the enterprise backbone. As I'm telling you all, large enterprise applications are investing, as I said, to build a large, scalable, robust software. That is from where I started my session from today. Large, scalable, robust, platform independent. So, and then you have to keep on adding the skills. See, you have to keep pace with time. Now it's 20 to 25. So learn a little bit of cloud also. Go to Udemy, take a AWS Azure GCP course, 399 it will charge you. Learn what is cloud. Then we can do sync our development with the cloud. So I'll try to include Spring Cloud in our curriculum, as I had mentioned on Saturday. So we'll have Spring Boot, Spring Security, Spring AOP, Spring Cloud. So I'll try to add Spring Cloud, but you all should have a fair idea as to what is the cloud infrastructure. So I have a playlist, a free playlist on YouTube of a very good person who's explaining AWS in detail. Make an account on AWS. Okay, add these keywords on your resume, guys. These are very good keywords which you can add. So AWS, okay. So Java developer roles remain in high demand, especially in the backend enterprise. The stability of Java makes it a favored choice for long-term projects. So it is there in the market to stay. Okay, Java is not obsolete. Okay, is Java Spring Boot still relevant? देखते हैं what Java, it is absolutely still relevant, and it's continuing to evolve as a powerhouse for backend and enterprise application development. So it's up to you how well you try to grasp the technology. The technology is there to stay. So do not have even a tiniest of doubt in your mind that I'm investing my energy, you know, 6 to 8 months is a huge time we are investing. So your task and my task is to grasp the technology and understand it in detail. So for that we'll have to invest time. So this 90 minutes is not the time which I'm asking you all. Apart from this 90 minutes, apart from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m., I am asking 18 hours. This is for those who are not working. Those who are working, if they can give me 2 hours, 3 hours, also I'm okay with that. But those who are not working, they should have no other task apart from mastering the technology. Okay, so what you have to go deeper in your understanding of the technology. Now I just give you all a term JDK. Now it's your job to research, watch videos on YouTube, search. What is JDK? What is JDK? I'll give you an overview. Then try to tally or compare what I am teaching and what you have researched, and bring it up in the next day. Sir, I was doing my research on JDK. So what you explained and what I have researched, this is what I had some doubts. So can you please clarify as to am I on the right track? I teach you all for 90 minutes. You all switch off your laptop, go to sleep. Next day you all wake up. Okay, have done no research, have done no practice. Then you all are waiting for a miracle to happen to land a job. That IT industry doesn't function this way. That you just complete the course and then you prepare your resume and then you say, okay, sir, when am I getting placed? No, it doesn't work that way. For placement, you will have to struggle. If you are not putting in the extra yards and you are giving me excuses, sir, my laptop wasn't functioning, there was no electricity, guests had come over, I was traveling, I wasn't feeling well. So as I said, either you can have your excuse or you can have your career. You cannot have both. So I will not be treating this as regular academic training or coaching. This will be professional training, and I want a professional mindset for that. For that, I want you all to be ready at 6:55. 6:55, you all should be ready with everything. And 7 o'clock will kick off. Initial 15 minutes, we can have doubt clearance. Sir, I was doing some research yesterday on the program which you taught yesterday. I was trying to execute. I was struggling. I watched some videos. I'll share all my playlist also. That would be beneficial. So I was watching your playlist also. I understood the majority of the program, but few areas I had some issues. So can you please explain me that once again? I am all okay for that. I don't mind explaining 100 times, but the thirst should come from your end. Okay. So this topic is very sensitive. JDK. Okay. JDK is the Java development kit. Okay. Now what this JDK does is, uh, yes, Ali, please share your screen. Okay, we'll install Ali's machine, and then I'll explain what is JDK. So initially we have the luxury to go slow. We'll not rush with the course. We'll go very slow. For the first month, I guess we'll go too slow. Later on, we can catch up. Yes, Ali, click on next. I'm not able to see your screen. Hmm. Yes, you can share your entire screen. Have you started sharing your screen, Ali? Yeah, but I do not see it. Yeah, perfect. Next. अभी कौन रिक्वेस्ट भेज रहा है ज्वाइन करने के? See where Java by default gets downloaded and installed. So later on, when we try to install other JDKs, which version of Java are we installing now, Ali, on your machine? 1.8. Which version? Which is famously known as Java 8. 1.8 is in the market, it is known as Java 8. So if the interviewer asks which version of Java have you been programming, so what will you say? Java 8. And which is the latest version of Java in the market? Java 24. So your research topic for today is research what new features have been added in Java 24. Okay, at least I want the theoretical explanation of the topic, whatever you understand. If you can give me a bullet point, one, two, three, four, click on next. So it gets stored in your C program file Java folder, yeah, which is the parent company which owns all the right of Java. Oracle. Earlier it was Sun Microsystems. Earlier it was Sun Microsystems. Now it's Oracle. Click on. Is it done? Yeah, you installed it. You can close. Yes. So now if you will observe, close. No need to open these tabs. You close this. So now if you go to your C drive, see where Java gets installed. You all should know all this. We'll have to go in depth of the training. Go to C drive and check. There'll be a folder program files. In program file, there'll be Java. So what has Ali installed now? JDK. What has Ali installed? JDK. JDK. Which version of which JDK? 1.8. For which machine? So JDK 1.8 is installed for a Windows 64-bit machine. Windows 64-bit machine. Because there will be a JDK for Windows 32-bit also. Okay, there is backward compatibility. So those are using Windows XP or Windows 7. For them, Java still has a JDK for that for those machines also. It has become obsolete, but still they have it. Now, JDK is a superset, like how we have country, country within the country will have state, and within the state will have a city, right? So this is a superset and subset. This is country. Then in the country we have state, and in the state we have a city. Similarly, we have JDK as the top. Then we have JRE, and then we have JVM. So what we have installed now has also installed a JRE and has not visible. Sorry. Yeah, please shout out if you are not able to see my screen. I was explaining this on Notepad. Yeah, perfect. If you are not able to see my screen, please shout out. Now, are you all able to see my screen? This is what I was telling. From country, then state to city, right? Big, okay. Then within the country, you have a state, and you'll have many states. Then you have within the state, you'll have a city. So the outermost layer is called as JDK. Inside JDK, you'll have JRE. So what is JDK? What is JDK stands for? Java Development Kit. Absolutely. Java Development Kit. Inside JDK, you'll have JRE. JRE stands for Java Runtime Environment. Stands for Runtime Environment. And inside your JRE, what will you have? JVM. JVM. I said, what is VM? Now, what is J? As what is J then? Java Java Virtual Machine. Yes, absolutely. So this is the understanding which will separate the men from the boys, because we have Java in 8th standard also. I am told in ICSE schools they have introduced Java in 8th standard also. So 8th standard kid also know what is Java, and we professional also know what is Java. What is the difference in the understanding? If you ask a 8th standard kid what is JVM, he will say I don't know. We just have it in theory, but we have to understand this in detail. Okay, so this should be your research topic for today. I'm giving you all two research topics for today. Okay, one is what is JVM, and second is what new has the latest JDK release introduced. Even if you can give me some theory points, I'm happy with that also. I don't want you all to go in technical, just theoretical points also, but try to understand and then explain it to me tomorrow. Okay. And the medium of communication I've kept for this course is English only. I will refrain from using regional language in communication. So for the next 8 months, you all will have to bear with me. So whatever explanation which I ask, I want that to be done in English only. Initially, there will be a struggle, but if in 8 months you practice, by the time you get ready for the interview, there should be a substantial improvement. Okay, so presentation also is one of the key areas in which the interviewer will judge you. He will judge you on technical aspects, that is for sure, but he will also judge you on your presentation and communication also. So side by side, we have to work on these skills also. So one of the ways of doing that is we'll be conversing in English only. So whatever doubts you all have, you all have to ask in English, and whatever presentation explanation you all will give will be in English and English only. Okay, so I would not want people to talk in regional language. So I would want you all to improve on your communication aspects also. Okay, so I'll give you an overview as to what JVM is. Then you all can do your own research, prepare your own documents. Make a habit of making your own documents, guys, so that you can refer them when you all go for an interview. So whatever you all have researched on YouTube or on ChatGPT, make a note, a soft copy of all that, and when we go for the interview, you can just browse through that. Okay. Now, what JVM does, this is as per what my understanding of JVM is. You all can research and let me know as to what we did, or is there something new which has been added to that. Okay. So this is the machine, or I'll say laptop of person A, and this person A is, let's say, in Los Angeles. So what should be the platform of this person? Yes, guys, Mac OS, right? So ideally, these guys operate on. So the platform would be Mac OS. And what is the CPU which Mac OS uses? Which CPU does Apple use much? Does Apple use Intel? Which brand CPU does the Mac machines use, guys? Any idea? Who's saying Snapdragon? Yes? Put on the chat. Okay. Now this machine, let's say, is in China. So they might be using some different OS. Okay. Okay. Let's not say China. Let's say Germany. So Germany will be using Linux. Berlin. This person B is in Berlin. So on in Poland. Okay. This person is in Warsaw, Poland. So they use a lot of Linux. This is Linux machine with a AMD CPU. Let's say. Okay. Linux OS and a AMD 64-bit CPU. So it's a separate platform. And this third person is, let's say, in Pune, India. So what would be his configuration? Any guesses? A Windows OS and a Intel CPU, right? So we have a very famous platform called as Wintel. What is the platform? 64-bit Intel, okay, i7 CPU. So now the developer, let's say Mike, has developed the code, his .java file which he has done. Okay, .java file is a source code. What is it called as? It is called as source code. Source code is that file which humans can read and write. Okay, humans can understand Human readable form, you can say. Source code is in which form? Yes. So if I have a source file, humans can interpret it. So can you understand what is there in this file? Can you read it? Yes, no, maybe. So this is which code? Human human readable code. So known as source code. So the source code is there on this machine. Okay. So now what happens is, if a machine has to run Java, it has to install a JDK, correct? Like how Ali, now if Ali wants to run Java code, Ali has installed JDK, correct? So JDK has internally also given him a JVM, yes or no? So every machine which has to run Java code has to have a JVM, has to have a. So Mike has his machine has a JVM. Now this JVM is platform dependent. Remember this. JVM is means, what does that mean? This means that there will be a separate JVM for separate platform. You see this? Linux, these are Linux JVMs. If you have a Mac OS, these are, and for Windows you have, see this 64-bit installer. So if you are installing Java 24 latest one, you have to install this. And if you are using the same one on the Mac, so JVM for Mac will be different, and for Linux will be different. So my question is Java platform dependent or platform independent? Is Java platform dependent or platform independent? Java Java is platform independent. Okay. Now is JVM platform dependent or platform independent? Yeah. So JVM is platform dependent. So for separate platforms, you will have your separate JVM. Okay. So for this platform, Mac OS is a separate JVM. So he has a JVM of Mac OS. Okay. So I'll color code the JVMs. Okay. I'll color code the JVM. Now, can I have this JVM on the laptop? So this is Frank, let's say. Mike's laptop, this is Frank's laptop. Now, can Frank install the same JVM as Mike has installed? Yes, no, maybe. Yes, sir. Who's saying yes, sir? I heard a yes. He cannot, right? Because he has a different platform. JVM is platform dependent. So you have to install the JVM based on your platform. So he will install this, right? Now, here we have Rajesh. Now, can Rajesh also install the same JVM as Mike and Frank? Yes, no, maybe. No, right? He'll have to install a JVM compatible to his or her platform. So here we'll have a different JVM. So let's say I take this JVM. Okay. Now what happens is, the source code which Mike has written. Okay, so understand this concept very, very thoroughly. Do your research and then make your document as per whatever you have understood. If you have any difficulties, bring it up in the session next day. Next day, first thing, sir, before beginning with the session, I had some doubts of previous session. Can you first clear that doubt? So I would appreciate people coming up with doubts. Okay. So now see what happens behind the scenes. Okay, what is happening behind the scene is what is expected. Just do not have a shallow understanding of the technology. Try to peep what is happening within, inside. So now I have written a code. I have written a code called as test.java. What is this code? Which is this file? This is a source code. Can humans understand and interpret this code? Yeah, this is a human readable code. Human can understand. Okay. Now what Java does is it first compiles this code. Understand this concept, very important. What it does, you all know what is compile, right? You all have done C, C++, you all know what is compile. To check for errors, and if there are any errors, it will be highlighted in the compilation phase, right? So we have to compile this code after successful compilation. Means what? What I mean by after successful compilation? Absolutely. After there are zero errors. Okay. So when do you get the errors? When do you detect the errors? At the compilation phase. Which phase? At compilation time you will get the errors, right? Because there will be one more term which we will be studying later on, exception. So you should know which occurs at what time. So when do the errors occur? Compilation time. And when does exception occur? At runtime. So these are okay. So when the code has not started execution, we are just compiling. So we'll check for errors, and if there are zero errors, Java will convert for every class. For what? For every class, it will create a class file. Which file? Class file. So if I compile this code and there are no errors, let's say there is no errors in this code, how many class files will be created? How many classes are there over here? One class file that will have an extension dot class. So from this test.java, it will become what? These are called as byte code. The test dot class is called as byte code or intermediate code or portable code, whatever you call it, the various names. Okay. So the test dot class is called as byte code. Okay. This is not executable code. Remember this. This is not, it is just a byte code. This is not executable code. This has to be converted to a executable code. This has to be, okay, converted to a executable code or machine code. This, okay, this is not your executable machine code. This is not, this is just byte code, and byte code can only be interpreted by the compiler, the computer. Okay, it is not human readable form. In simple form, you have to, if I have to say this, it is in what? Can humans understand the byte code? Who can understand the byte code? Only machine can understand the byte code. Then what happens is this class file now is given to the JVM of whose machine? Whose machine? Let's say Mike's machine. So this now byte code is converted to machine code by the respective JVM, by the respective, yes. So if I am running this code on Mike's laptop, the JVM of Mike's machine will convert this byte code into which code? Machine code. And then the OS of that machine will execute it. So JVM is a layer on top of the operating system. JVM is a layer on top of the, so we will always have a OS then that machine's OS will execute that code. So JVM's job is to convert it into machine code. And who executes that machine code? That machine's native machine. That is called as what? That machine's OS will execute the code. Okay, so we had the color coding, right? Yeah, yes, for rectangle. So like this. So the JVM is built on top of the OS. So JVM will then convert it into machine code, and the operating system of that machine will execute the code. So this is what happens behind the scenes. OS of the machine will execute the code. Okay, now let me show you all practically. So have I shown you all .java file? Have I shown you all .java file? Yes, no, maybe source code. Yes, guys, am I audible? Yeah. So this is it. Now I have saved it. Now to compile it, go to a command prompt and say Java C, the name of the source file. So what will happen over here? So I'll just show you what is happening behind the scenes also. So let me show up that folder which I created for you guys. Is my entire screen visible to you all? What do you all see on the What do you all see on the screen now? Folder. What do you see? Do you see both of them overlap? Do you all see both of them overlap? You see both the screen, right? Now as I hit enter, and if there is no errors in the compilation, what will happen? It will create a, how many class file will it create? Why one class? Why not two? Okay. What if I write over here class demo? Now how many class files? Two class file. Okay. So as of now only one is there. So I save it, and now as I hit enter, you will see. Okay. There it will create one separate. If there are no errors, okay, no errors. Next, you have got the next prompt means there are no errors. And see this. You see this? If I right click on the test.java and I say open with Notepad plus plus, can I read this? Yes, right. But if I right click on this test.class and if I say open with Notepad plus plus, now can you all read this? These are which instructions? These are byte code. Okay, only the computer can understand this instruction. So once I have the byte code ready, the JVM will convert it to native code. Convert it to what? Native code means that code which can be run on that machine only. So the native code of Mike's machine and native code of Frank's machine, is it same or different? Different. Now what do I mean by different is if I had a variable, now try to understand this. I'm going a bit deeper now. If I had a variable over here, okay, integer a. Now integer requires 4 bytes of memory in Java. How many bytes? 4 bytes. So these 4 bytes have to be allocated some memory address, correct? So when the JVM of Mike's machine was compiling this code into the native code, it saw that at address 1000, 4 bytes are available. How many bytes? So it allocated the variable A, which memory address? 1000. Now, if now is it always true that machine B also will have 1000 memory address free? You can't you can't guarantee, right? So the machine, the native code of each machine is different, right? So the JVM will take this byte code and convert into what? Native code or machine code for that respective machine. Okay, for that respective machine. So native code of each machine is different, and then the OS of that machine will execute that native code. So likewise, if I have made a software, okay, let's say I have made a banking software. I am ABC Bank, and I have made a banking software, and I have that software written in a class in a file called bank.java. Okay. Now, will I share this file with anyone? I've invested millions of dollars and years I've invested to make this software. Now, this Java file is which form? Human readable, right? So, if XYZ bank gets hold of my bank.java class, it will create a clone of this. So, what for which I invested millions of dollars and you know tens of years, that bank will get this code for free. Yes or no? So now what do? I want my code to be operational also, and without people getting to know my source code. So I will convert my bank.java into what? Bank.class. And if I share this bank.class and my competitor gets hold of the class file, can he benefit from that? He can only execute my code. He cannot replicate my code, right? So what Java would follow is Mike has the .java file, correct? Then Mike converts. So Mike is a developer. So for development, he has to do testing. So he will always check for errors. If there are any errors, he will solve the errors. So he will always be creating the .class file, .java. And once he has got that no errors and everything is good, once the class file is made, now this class file is shared across the other development team, and now the JVM of Frank's machine can take this class file and convert it into its native code. The JVM of Rajesh's machine can take it and convert it into its native code and execute it. So that is what Java brought to the table in the early 1990. Means the portable code. And how did it achieve portability? How did Java achieve portability? By converting that source code into a portable code. Which is the portable code? Machine code is not the portable code. Machine code is not the portable code. Machine code is the native code. Portable code is the byte code. So dot class, dot Java to dot class. Dot class is which code? This is the portable code. And then this dot class would be converted to which code? Native code. By the so the JVM would come in JVM would come over here. So that's why every machine which has to run a Java code should have a JVM, because the machine will just get the class file and it has to convert that class file into native code, and the JVM does that. Getting it? So Java does not insist y'all on that the developer has developed it on Mac, so everybody should have a Mac OS to run the code. No, you can have any of your parent base OS. Just you have to install a compatible JVM. Does that make sense? So now let's try to understand this from ChatGPT. Internal execution of a Java code. Let's see what ChatGPT has to say. Let's break down the internal execution of a Java program from writing the code to running it. Okay, make sense? So this is the most trending site which is in the market right now. So I'm taking a reference of that so that you can understand. Okay, see the same thing which we have done. It is smart enough to understand. Yes, they have named it. I have named it test. It has named it hello world. So first you write which code? Yes, guys, source code Java. Then you compile it by Java C and the name of the file. This generates a dot class file containing bytecode. Containing, see over here, not machine code. Bytecode and machine code, is it same? No. Okay. Then this bytecode is compiled into a platform. Okay. Source code is compiled into a same. So the class, the dot class code, is it platform dependent or platform independent? The Yes. So if I if I take this class code and run on the JVM of Mike, it will execute. If I take this class code and run on JVM of Frank, it will execute. If I take this class code and run on JVM of Rajesh, it will also execute. So the byte code is machine independent portable code. Yeah. This byte code is the same no matter what OS or CPU you are on. Now we have to JVM will come into picture. Now there are many minor things. Okay, JVM class loader loads into memory. Okay, there are many small components of JVM. So the Java class loader is a part of the. Then you have to do the byte code verification. These are all activities of JVM, and then the JVM. So there is this. So see, this also is a translation from dot Java to dot class. It's a translation, correct? Code has been translated from one form to another, correct? So here also from dot class to native code, there is a translation. So who does the translation from dot class to native code? So JVM has a component called as JIT compiler. What part of the JVM does this compilation? So JIT compiler converts which code to which code? Native code. JIT means just in time. JIT means, so here they have shown over here. JIT compiler just in time converts the byte code into native machine code at runtime. Okay, and then frequently run code is optimized. Okay, that method which is called again and again, you have to optimize that code. There's a garbage collection also. These are all aspects. Okay, and finally the JVM executes your program and you see it. Okay, rather you can say this is the OS executes the program. Let's try to test this. Let's try to does this. Is it the JVM or the parent OS which executes? Okay, let's check this. Let's check this. Let's see if you were. Great question. Let's dig deep. Okay, it's thoda sa. This is a bit deeper question. See, the JVM executes a Java program, but it does it on top of your operating system which is ultimately in control of all execution of the hardware level. So whatever hardware, now see, when we are doing the subject of operating system, the OS is built on what? Who has access of the CPU? Who has access of the memory? Which is the system software which has access of the computer resources? The OS, right? So we have the hardware at the core. Who interacts with the hardware? The OS. Huh. So when I say execute means that OS executes in, and that for execution the OS requires any hardware. If it requires memory, what is memory? Hardware or software? If it requires CPU, so what are these? These are hardware or software? So to execute, so which, so who has access to these hardware? Who has access? OS. So if I want to execute the code and I require some CPU, so who will have access to the CPU? So it is telling that the JVM will execute in coordination with the OS. What it is telling? The JVM executes a Java program, but it does on top of the OS, which has access to all your hardware. Am I understood? See, the OS executes the JVM as a native process. So the native code eventually is executed by the operating system. So this was what we have discussed. Now you all try to, like how honeybees, they suck nectar from various, flowers, and then they form their honey. So they have to travel kilometers. A honeybee travels kilometers, and when it comes back to the hive to make one drop of honey, it has to travel kilometers. So you all also prepare your own notes and search all the websites. Try to Google, try to Chat GPT, Geek for Geeks, whichever site you can get hold of. Okay, try YouTube, watch videos on JVM, internal working of JVM, and try to have a stronger base on which you can build upon later on. So is this understood till now? The portable feature of Java, and how it achieves its portability, and what role the JVM plays in that, and JVM is machine dependent or machine independent. Is JVM machine dependent or machine independent? Let, let's let's check. Is JVM machine dependent? Answer in yes or no. What should be the answer? What is the query I'm sending to ChatGPT? It should come as a big fat yes. Eh? J- the JVM is not machine dependent. It's platform independent by design. Okay, let's say platform. I guess it is taking the word platform. Is JVM, or let's say JDK rather. Okay, is JDK, for your understanding, platform dependent? Answer in yes or no. So what should be the answer? Answer should be yes. Okay, so let's not get confused. What is it telling? Yes. Okay, the JDK is, and the JVM is a part of the. So internally the internal JVM also is a. See, each JDK is built for a specific OS, Windows, Mac, and Linux. So you will download a different JDK for each platform. So do not be confused. Is Java platform independent? Huh? Java. Java as a programming language. Yes. Java is platform independent, but is JDK platform independent? No. Right? Makes sense, right? So let me mark your attendance. Okay, at the end of the session, I'll be marking your attendance, and I want 80% attendance. Okay, this is for those who are targeting placement. Those who have just come for academics, I have just joined for core Java. So that person, I'll not be much strict with the attendance of such candidates. Those who enrolled for placement are the candidates which I'll be very much strict with. Those who are doing for, see, this is too much for graduation guys. Those who have core Java in your academic, this is too overwhelming for that candidate. You have gone too deeper. So if that candidate only understands this diagram, 4 marks question will come and you can answer that 4 mark question very easily. So for you, only this diagram is sufficient for those who are going to give exam for Java. So what is JDK? Just understand this diagram. Okay. So JDK, inside that you have JRE, inside that you have. So if you want to do development, okay, so over here, let's say here Mike is the developer and Frank and Rajesh are the users. Okay, so let's say this is Mark Zuckerberg who's made Facebook and these are users of Facebook. So Mike is doing development, right? So Mike has to install have a JDK. And Frank and Rajesh are just users. They just want the runtime environment. So they can just have the JRE. See, they can just have the. So if you are a developer, you want to code. So JDK will have the coding tools. Will have what? And JRE will have the execution tools. Will have what? So now what do you need? You need JDK as well as JRE both, right? See, Ali, can you share your screen, please? So when you install, it gives you two folders. When you install Java, no, it will give you two folders. Yes, Ali, is it there? Yeah, Ali. Yeah, go to this PC, C drive, program files. Keep your mic on. Let there be disturbance in the background. Let the people of the household do whatever they are doing, and we'll do whatever we have to do. Will you open this PC from search? Have you ever tried opening this PC using search? C drive, program files, the plain program file, not the 86 one, the plain one. Up, yeah, Java. See, you have JDK and JRE both, right? So JDK and JRE both will be needed for the developer, and the end customer will only need what? JRE only. Okay. So when the development is done, and when you want to just deploy the code on the server, so will there be any development over there? Because development has been done. So that time I will just need the JRE for deployment. But for development, I'll be needing JDK. So theory marks, only if you understand this much, is more than sufficient for you to get 4 out of 4. But in your interview, you'll have to explain in detail as to what you understand and what is the platform independent feature of Java. Okay, so let me just mark your attendance.